noticed you were out here with music. Is that something that's different, playing the crowd noise and all that kind of stuff? For home games, we don't usually do that out there.
We've tried to do it the last couple weeks, during a team period or two for home games, so just to make the defense communicate hand signals, and obviously, with all the crowds back this year and the home crowds that we've had, we've needed to do that. So we try to do it a couple of periods a week and go from there.
How will this week be different for Uzziah and Justin? I know they got a lot of reps last week. You're kind of knowing going in that they're going to be.
I mean, you try to tell every backup to prepare like a starter. That's got to be the mindset. But when going in that you're going to be, called upon and being those guys, you probably do prepare a little bit more. Now you probably have maybe a few more butterflies or nerves, but I think they don't have to do more than they did last week. They just have to do their assignment, and focus on the technique that Coach Stewart has taught them, and just play. Don't let the moment get too big. I thought they did some good things last week. Some things obviously we need to improve on, but it'll be good. It'll be a big moment for both those guys.
How do you keep them in the moment? Sometimes you go to the head, sometimes you can be living in the past. How do you keep them in the moment day by day?
The SEC does that for me. Every week you look at that next opponent that you're playing, and you can get humbled pretty quick. So if you're doing anything but looking at the opponent that you're about to face, you got other issues. So I think this crew is mature, and I think the senior leadership has been through enough battles, enough wars to understand how this thing works. And at any moment, the other thing that helps in call a spade, I think, that in Game 3 against Chattanooga happens. They realize you can't just roll a ball out and play, and it doesn't matter how good you may be playing, the quarter before, the half before, the game before, 2 games before, it doesn't matter. Like at any moment, if you're not focused, it can all go away. So the attention to detail has to be at every practice, every period, and been fairly pleased this week so far.
Mark
Joel Williams played a lot more than some of those other guys who are just coming back from suspension. What are the things he can bring to this team?
I'm sorry?
Joel Williams.
Oh, Joel. Yeah, Joel played a little bit more. He just like anything, for the position that he was in, and that he kept himself. He was in good shape and just sort of more game ready at that moment. Could anticipate seeing some others playing this game as well, and we're going to need everybody throughout the season. But I thought he stepped in and did some good things. He had shown some good things in practice those previous couple weeks that warranted that he could go in and spell D-Rob, and that was good to give D-Rob a break too, that he doesn't have to handle the load on every single rep.
Mark said on Monday that he thought Josh Pascal played as good of a game as he's ever seen a player play. Was there something about his preparation last week, or is that just Josh coming
That's just Josh. That's Josh day in and day out. And you're going to have some of those games that are just better than others. Maybe it's the offense that you're playing. Maybe that you're just more in the zone. But his preparation doesn't change from week to week, and that's why when those opportunities present themselves, Josh always takes advantage of it because he's always prepared the right way. And you hope that's a lesson for the younger guys to see, like, hey, listen, it doesn't just happen. Josh isn't just good. Yusuf and Square, and they're not just good. They prepare throughout the week the right way. They not just their minds, but their bodies, how they act in practice, how they act in film study, everything, and it all matters. And so when those big moments, show up, you can take advantage of them, and Josh did. And he did. He played lights out, but not surprised one bit. That's how Josh plays. And it was good just that he was able to highlight that on sort of a national stage.
The way that your offense operates, it's almost analogous to air raid, the way it throws ball. So
improvements in that?
The added depth that you're going to have, that's something that's going to have to come to the forefront. And there's going to be a lot of running involved.
Yeah, Lonnie, I don't know about that, just because I think that's a very prideful program rooted in running the football. And so maybe their stats haven't shown it up to this far, but I have an inkling that they're going to run the football. And Coach Orgeron's come out and said they're going to be committed to running the football. They've got offensive line of several of which were on that national title team. They've got really good running backs. They've got a good scheme. Obviously, they've got skill on the outside edges. So they can play with great balance. And so I would not anticipate seeing the ball in the air as much as an air raid offense.
How tempting is it for guys when you're coaching guys for them to keep them from looking at those kind of stats? Like, I think it would be easy to see a team struggle to run the ball and maybe let up.
Yeah, I think it's easier when you're in this conference, and a lot of these guys played with guys on other teams. I mean, I know, like a guy like Joel, he knows and played against probably about half that team. Like you understand how talented and how deep this roster is, from the offensive line to the quarterback, to the running backs, to the receivers, tight ends. So I don't think, maybe a struggle, but they average over 370 yards a game. They average over 30 points a game. So let's not get it twisted. This is a team that can explode on you at any moment. They can do it obviously in the pass game, but they can also do it in the run game. And they've got home run hitters. And so the minute we pop a gap or we get lax, they could be putting 7 on you. So I don't think that's been an issue with our guys. They understand the huge challenge that we have in front of us, and we're going to have to play a really, really good football game, keep these guys in check.
What do you see from Max Johnson and the way that he throws, being left-handed? You have to prepare any differently for a quarterback who throws left-handed?
Lefty, you really not much different. It's funny. I was at Georgia as a freshman with David Green, and he reminds me a lot, just in terms of his stature, and his movement of David and his ability to throw a really nice deep ball. He's got really good touch on his pass. He can throw the ball, out to the field, from a near hash. So he's got plenty of arm strength, and he's far more mobile than people probably give him credit for. He does a lot with his legs. He can improvise when he needs to. But as far as sort of doing anything different just because he's a lefty, not so much. You just understand, hey, which side would he tend to probably, want to evade, which is opposite of a right. You obviously want to work towards your dominant hand. So it's just a little bit different in that regard. Nothing drastic.
Everybody good?